Poor men living all together, yet they were all alone. Suker, what's going on? Sing it, baby. Sing me a little Brady Bunch, would you? Go ahead.
Everybody knows that song.
Sing it to me.
One day when the lady met his fellow,
and they knew that
it was much more than a hunch that this crew would somehow form a family.
Go ahead.
That's the way we all became the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch, Then Ambi Davis pops up. That's the way.
Starring Ambi Davis.
Became the Brady Bunch.
You know what always reminds me? We'll start the show for real here in a second. It always reminds me of my childhood, Souk, is when at the end of the Brady Bunch, when the little Paramount logo would come on after the closing credits. Just that little that sounder of the Paramount logo always just reminded me of when I was sick at home from school and you're just watching the Brady Bunch and Gilligan's Island, The Partridge Family, Price is Right. And that
we all did the same thing. Gilligan's Island, Price is Right. It just goes right down.
Come on,
there with our Campbell soup, eat the grilled cheese.
Oh, the grilled cheese, of course. You want me to make you some grilled cheese, honey?
You want some Campbell soup out of the can? How about a little Chef Boyardee? That was special.
All you had to do was leave it on one channel, and you had your Brady's and your Gilligan's Island and Partridge Family and Bewitched, and it was just what a wonderful time. Suki.
It was. Can I show you wonderful. Leo really quickly? He's here.
Yeah. Show me Leo before we hit the start button. Everybody loading up. Everybody loading up. Big show today. Lloyd Schwartz. Oh, look at Leo.
Say hello. Say hello,
boy.
Leo.
Look at Leo. Souk, how old is Leo now?
You know what my kid said? I sound like Elmo.
Leo. Boy, it's funny. It's funny. Somebody who went from not being a dog person to Leo, lick my face.
He's my only dog. I love not all dogs, just some dogs.
Yeah, you let him lick your face now. I noticed.
Yeah, he's okay. He's not bad.
You're up to the face-looking portion of the program?
We're not up to the face. Like, just every now and then I'll let him give me a little lick.
Souk, listen, we have an amazing show today. Great show last night. The music was unbelievable. Today we have the legendary producer, screenwriter, director Lloyd Schwartz. He, of course, the legendary son of the legendary Sherwood Schwartz, who we all know, of course. And then later on, from the Men of West Hollywood, which is this new series on Crackle, Crackle TV. It's a brand new series. It's called The Men of West Hollywood. It looks insane.
Ladies are gonna really love it.
Well, we have Landon Wetterstrom is on the show. He's like a model guy. Ladies are gonna love. There's not one picture with him with his shirt on, Suki. So they're all shirtless. And Hannah Coelho is a beautiful young lady, also from the LA area, and they're in this show it looks like it's like the Jersey Shore West Hollywood edition. Of course, people hooking up, things getting crazy. So that's on Crackle, and of course we are also on Crackle, so we like to promote our brethren on the same distribution site. But listen, I've been waiting for Lloyd Schwartz to come on this show for a long time, because I got questions, Suki, that need answered. I got questions. I got Brady Bunch questions. I got Gilligan's Island questions. I got Rescue from Gilligan's Island questions. I got it all. 18 questions. Baywatch, you name it. But he's got a new play coming out in LA that starts in April called Classic Couples Counseling. And it's pretty cool. We're going to talk to him about that. But you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do it.
There we go.
The Suki and Scott Show.
This is one of the funnest shows I've ever done.
Lady, when you're with me, I'm smiling.
It's musical. It's magical.
Suki and Scott, the seven of hearts. Woo! Exactly.
This is a sexy show.
Someone's getting some action.
Now, these larger-than-life personalities are on an exciting new journey as they bring you the Suki and Scott Show.
You guys nailed it. You're great. You ask great questions. You listen.
I answered you because I have respect for you guys, and it was a question respectfully put.
The Suki and Scott Show is your one-stop destination for humor.
You like De Niro and Cape Fear. Counselor!
Entertainment.
Jesse's girl.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
and optimism.
You guys have such amazing energy.
Ultraviolet light, it gets in there and it just fights. It just fights the kung flu. Is that right? Okay.
Let's laugh together.
I love him.
The Suki and Scott Show.
Ah, Suker. So that noise is really there, and it's a lot of feedback.
Is it?
Yeah, really bad.
Okay. I'll have to leave. I'll have to find another place then.
Yeah, leave for 1 second and come back in. There she goes. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Lloyd Schwartz is coming up in just a second while Suki gets her bearings and gets her positioning back. What I'm going to do is Lloyd, I see you down there. As soon as Suki comes back in, we'll get her back up. And the good thing is you'll never see any of that in the finished product. Hold on. Here she is. She's back.
I wonder if the light has anything to do with it. Is it
maybe it's the maybe not, Sue. Put the light back on because now you're in the dark.
No, I'll come back downstairs. I'll go back downstairs and do it.
No, you're better. It's better now. It's not as crazy.
Okay.
It's not as crazy. It's still there, but when we came out of the open, it was really insane. Anyway, Suki, so, okay, the open just ended. Sook, what's happening, baby? How you doing?
OMG, how are you? I'm so excited because we're going to take a trip down memory lane, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good trip because you and I talk about this, how this was...
Listen, how many times have we done Brady Bunch, Gilligan's Island trivia? Lloyd Schwartz is coming on in just a second. Listen, we're going to talk to Lloyd about everything, but the reason why he's coming on, Lloyd has this new show coming out called Classic Couples Counseling. And when you look at the couples that are in this play who are being counseled, you got Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet and Ophelia, Othello, Desdemona, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, and Petruchio and Kate. I never heard of Petruchio and Kate. But it sounds like, and I know that the counselor, I was reading, the counselor seems to be wacko, makes everything worse. So it seems to be a very, very funny play coming to the LA area on April 1st. So Lloyd's going to tell us about that. But Suk, let me ask you a question. If I said to you, what was the name of the dog on the Brady Bunch? Would you know the answer to that question?
Tiger.
Tiger, for nicely done. I think Tiger, got hit by a car in one episode, never came back.
Something happened to Tiger. I don't know exactly, but I know something happened.
Yeah, and do you remember, I remember I had the little Viewmaster. Remember the Viewmaster toy?
Viewmaster.
Where, it was like 3D.
Sure.
I remember I had the Brady Bunch edition, and it was when they were when they were on their way headed west. Not to Hawaii. They were out in the west.
Oh, when they went to the Grand Canyon.
They went to the Grand Canyon, and Bobby brought a flashlight full of beans to his Indian friend.
Yes,
I just remember as a kid seeing those pictures in my Viewmaster, and I was freaking out because when you open both eyes, it's 3D.
Yeah.
On the Viewmaster. I just remember.
You're like, holy smokes, Bobby's right in front of me.
Like, this is unbelievable, the Viewmaster. But anyway, Lloyd Schwartz is coming up in just a second.
Well, he really can tell us all of the questions, those unanswered questions. I mean, the bickering. I mean, there's been so many stories about the kids, the parents,
absolutely,
the contract negotiations or lack thereof, the inequities,
I've got some Gilligan's Island questions. I mean, Suk, how come on Gilligan's Island, every guest that came on the show was able to get off the island? They always left.
How come they were still on the island?
They never were able to get off. The Harlem Globetrotters showed up one time. They got off the island. Yeah. A couple Russians showed up with the cosmonauts.
And they left.
Everybody ends up leaving. And nobody ever could figure out why the professor could always fix the radio and he could make electricity, but he couldn't make a little boat just to get everybody off. But I guess we wouldn't have had a show.
Those are deep questions you're asking.
Yeah, these are very, very questions I've been growing up with my entire life, and I just need them answered. But so here's a little bit of what Lloyd was involved with, and then we're going to bring him in on the other side. Take a look.
Here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely girls. All of them had hair of gold, like their mother.
The ship's aground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle, with Gilligan, the skipper too, a millionaire and his wife, the movie star.
18.
Lloyd Schwartz in the house. Hello, Mr. Schwartz. How are you?
Hi,
sir?
I'm glad, but for you guys, I'm going to keep my shirt on because that's another story.
Lloyd, how are you, pal?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We are good. Now, wait. So I just want to make sure. Are you where are you looking right now? Are you looking at your camera or are you looking at us?
I thought I was looking at you. Let me just maybe tilt this thing up. Is it better at all? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, lift your eyes up a minute to your camera. There you go. See, now you're looking at us, but you can't see us when you look.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the camera and pretend I'm looking at you.
There you go.
Okay. I'd much rather look at Suki though, but I'll look at this one.
Thanks, Lloyd. I'll take
Lloyd,
that.
I understand, my friend. I understand. Lloyd, listen, man. How are you, sir? How's everything going? You're very busy. Of course, we're going to talk about all those shows we were just mentioning. But what you're still in the LA area, in California?
Yeah, I live in Studio City, which is close to Hollywood. I've lived here my whole life. And we're actually close to where they filmed Gilligan and close to where we filmed Brady Bunch. So just a couple of miles away. Yeah.
Lloyd, what is it like to be part of the golden years of television, really? Of when we were all, it was must-see TV before it was must-see TV. It was indoctrinating a whole generation of people and bringing everybody together. You know, the thing that Scott and I always talk about, now the kids watch the YouTube, the TikTok, they're all into their own stuff, whereas there's no commonality. And maybe when somebody talks about a show like, hey, have you seen Yellowstone? Or, hey, have you seen, then there's some sort of vibing and talking about something. But the whole country was talking about the shows you and your father created.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, there was only, as you're right, there was only 3 networks at the time. So every network show had like 30% of the audience. And now a network show will have 1%. There's an infinite number of places. I think it's healthier in some way, but you lose what you're saying, the commonality of getting to school and everybody talking about the episode of this or that, but everybody's watching something different.
Yeah. And now we watch, the whole season in one, 2-day sitting. Whereas, when the Brady boys went into the cave and Vincent Price was in there, we had to wait a whole week to find out, who the heck was, what was going to happen when he tied him up. But Lloyd, just before you got involved with your dad, and of course, we all remember him just from the credits, created by with the Brady house in the background.
Right.
Sherwood Schwartz, obviously just a legend. What was that like for you growing up in that household where I'm sure he had all these celebrity friends?
I'll tell you one funny story about that. I remember there was a dinner party and I was like 9 years old. And 2 of the guests were Henny Youngman and Maury Amsterdam.
Wow.
Just 2 of the guests. And so I found myself in the den with these 2 guys.
Right.
Alone, and they were hitting me with joke after joke. I couldn't get out of there. It was like going 10 rounds with Muhammad Ali or something.
Right.
But, he didn't bring a lot of the work home. He was just a dad who went to work and came home. And then, we'd start to go to, there he is. We started at that age. I remember the first show I ever went was my uncle wrote this Frank Sinatra variety show. And so that was the first show I ever saw. And that was kind of interesting. And then Dad did Red Skelton. And I remember going to the Red Skelton show and meeting all these people. But it was not, he wasn't, a big showbiz guy. He was just a wife with, and they had nice parties and things, but nothing Hollywood parties. It was just, in fact, a lot of the Brady Bunch stories and things came from our childhood. I have 2 brothers and a sister. We weren't a blended family, but we had a housekeeper, and many of the stories were things that happened to us, and so we put them in the show.
That is great.
That's
That is
awesome.
amazing.
I did not know that.
That is wild. It's funny because no, go ahead, Lloyd.
Oh, and people always say, that's real life isn't like that. And I say, well, maybe your real life wasn't like that, but that's what my life was.
I mean, when we used to watch the Brady Bunch, and I was even reading about it before, there were there was nothing ever really controversial in the show, right? Like if it was, I know, like they never spoke about the Vietnam War if it was on during that time. It was always just, this wholesome, oh, Mom, Greg's a stinker. Well, I told you never to use that language, Bobby. But it was such a wholesome show. What was it about that show that, I mean, even today you see it on Nickelodeon or MeTV or whatever it's on. It got people my age. I'll always stop, even with my kids. There's a whole new generation.
Yeah.
You know, my younger daughter, we went through all the episodes with the CDs and then the movies as well. You know, what is it about that show that it can literally last forever through generations?
Well, one of the things, it was very intentional. Dad didn't want catchphrases and things like that in the show. So, and also it was one of the first family shows that was told from the point of view of the kids. And so it's hard for the kids to get involved in the parents' problems, but the parents got involved in the kids' problems. In fact, when you played the opening here, when you talked about, when you had the theme song on, in the second year, we changed the theme song to have the kids singing it. And they changed the lyrics to, instead of that's the way they became the Brady Bunch, it says that's the way we became the Brady Bunch. And so we started each episode was basically featuring a child with a child's problems. And in fact, Paramount at one point cut the episodes down to 10 minutes and they were used as educational films because they had little lessons in them and things like that. So
that is amazing. That is amazing. It's wild.
I mean, I always loved when, you know, we had Bobby. No, it was Peter. His voice was changing. It's time to change. We've got to I mean, I just loved it. It felt authentic to me. And that was like 15 years later. How's that?
Well, I hope so. But it's funny because the kids did not have personalities defined in a presentation. The kids became who they actually were. So we started to look at their person. Chris couldn't sing a note, by the way. So that particular song, I mean, his voice changing, it never changed to where he could ever hit a note.
That's so funny. Here you are, obviously, you know, on the set with Cindy there, and it was just, you know, you hear the stories about Robert Reed. And always, I mean, this is well documented. He was always bickering with the writers and the producers about changing scripts around and things like that. How did you guys handle that when, you know, arguably one of the main stars of the show comes in? You guys, you write and everybody puts their heads together, and he comes and he's like, "Hey, I don't like this. I don't want to do it." How'd you guys handle that back then?
It was very difficult because Dad was up in the office and I was running the set, and he would suddenly get into a scene where he didn't like the lines, and suddenly, you know, he'd say, "I'm not going to say this," or something. And the whole crew would disappear because obviously there was a confrontation about to happen. And I was 22, 23 at that point, and I'd have to come up with lines to, you know, to satisfy him. He was fighting for what he thought was the way the show should be. And we were the ones who decided how the show will be. And so it was, look, I didn't remember having that hat, but that's me.
Look at you. Yeah, that's a cool hat right there.
Could you send me a copy of that picture? I'd like to have that.
Absolutely. I think, Lloyd, if you Google your name, you'll find all this stuff online.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all in there. Some great shots. I mean, you know,
Lloyd, in 2019, you guys celebrated 50 years.
Yeah.
What was that like to know?
Well, it's, you know, and I have a pretty sharp memory for things, and it's just hard to believe. And Brady Bunch, however, is a lot of things, but over isn't one of them. It just keeps going.
Keeps going.
You know, we've been on the air in the 60s, 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 10s, the teens, and now we're going into the 20s, and we have things coming up. So, you know, it's sad that here, Ann B. Davis and Robert and Florence aren't with us. But the family continues to exist, and everybody gets along well. And we just did that, you know, that renovation show, and they all got together again. And it's funny, you retreat into the old roles you had. And so I was like an uncle and or a boss at that point. And now it's hard to be a boss. There are people who are 60, 70 years old now, the kids, but they're still the kids, you know. So.
I love it. And Lloyd, you know, it's funny. You were also heavily involved in Gilligan's Island, I believe. And a lot of it in a lot of your bios, it says vocal coaching.
Dialogue coach,
dialogue coach. So what does a dialogue coach do on say a Gilligan's Island?
Well, it's different. I mean, a lot of people think it's you teach them accents and things, and it's not that. Maybe that's the way it is in feature films when you're working with big stars. My job basically was to take the actors and make sure they knew all their lines and work with them on their lines, so that when they got into the set, the director only had to worry about telling them where to go and what the action was. With Brady Bunch, it was kind of interesting because when that show started, I was still in college, and then I Dad said, would you take care of these 6 kids? And I'd been a summer camp counselor and been a stand-up comedian and stuff. So he gave me these 6 kids. And my job at that point was to make sure they knew their lines. And more importantly, to know how they would feel about everything. And so I would go eat to the house, like each show would feature one child. And I would go to the home of the child, get a free meal because I was a bachelor. And then we'd discuss the show. And that was how I saw my job. So it was, and I was kind of an uncle to them, basically. In fact, they were kids. They were kids, and it was a little bit more formal than it is today. So nobody was anything but Mr. and Mrs. to the crew and to my dad. I was Lloyd. They could call me that. And then when Barry reached a certain age, he gained the right to be able to call people by their first names.
When his hair got gray, like in this picture right here,
he doesn't call me anybody Mr. anymore. We're pretty good. We're pretty good friends, all of us.
I love it. No, that is amazing. That's amazing.
And of course, I mean, it's so much in our folklore and our, it's just that everybody talks about the kind of girl that they would like. Would they like Ginger or would they like Marianne? Would you like the professor? It's just very interesting how it worked into this dynamic of the type of woman you'd like or the type of guy you'd like. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, it was fascinating because Dawn Wells was the only character on Gilligan's Island who was normal. And so she got 5 times the fan mail everybody else got. And for me personally, it was always Marianne, because when we did the rescue from Gilligan's Island, I actually played this guy who was waiting for 15 years on the island.
Oh, really? You were in it?
I was in it. And meanwhile, the backstory was I had fallen in love with her best friend. And when they came back, we felt obligated to get married, but I was in love with somebody else. And so the skipper and Gilligan pulled her away at the last minute. And I ended up marrying her best friend, played by my wife.
Played by your wife? Wow, that's great. That's great.
Who, by the way, has graduated, because now in this new play, she's Lady Macbeth.
Yes. You know what? We're going to talk about classic couples in a second. But I just want to touch on some of these. So you were also, you did some writing on Baywatch as well, right?
Yeah. I wrote a couple of Baywatch episodes. My cousin created that. I say the whole family is in this business. And so I wrote a couple of those. There was a Gilligan episode, and there was an episode about basketball, beach basketball or something. And so I wrote that. I didn't write a lot of shows for other people's episodes because I was always busy producing my own things. But my cousin said he wanted to do a Gilligan thing, and I said, well, Dad and I said, we'll do it, but I have to write it because I understand Gilligan's Island, and that was it. And,
so great, Lloyd. I when it comes to Gilligan's Island, you have to tell me who came up with the idea to bring the Globetrotters to the island.
Okay.
Who came up with that one?
Fred Silverman, kind of. He was president of NBC. We had done very successful rescue from Gilligan's Island.
Right.
And they wanted to do more. And we didn't want to do it because the cast was quite old, and we couldn't really have them do the physicality. So we ended up creating this kind of resort on the island. And so Fred said, he was president, as I said, president of NBC, and he said, let's put the Brady Bunch on Gilligan's Island. That was going to be the episode, the Brady Bunch on Gilligan's Island. But NBC couldn't make a deal with ABC, and Paramount could make a deal with Universal. And so he said, okay, let's do the Dallas Cheerleaders on Gilligan's Island.
God, yes.
And so again, it was an ABC conflict with Fox or whatever. And then Fred said, how about the Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island? And man, this may not be political right now, but Dad said, well, they're taller and darker. He said,
than the cheerleaders. That was good. And they managed to get the hell off the island.
Well, that was, by that time it was a resort, so people could get on and off. But
okay.
But I heard about the other thing about when the regular series was on, people would always get on and get off.
Yeah.
Not only could they get on and get off, they had to have a reason not to tell the people when they got back about these people on the island.
That was great. And you know what's funny? Escape from Gilligan's Island or
Rescue. Yeah.
Rescue. It seemed like, because from what I remember, when everybody finally got back to their lives, they were kind of like, I think I like it better on the island, right? That was kind of they decided
they missed each other. here's where the audience was way ahead of us.
Yeah.
Intentionally. This group decided stupidly that they would have a reunion cruise.
Right.
And you got to know where that's going.
Right.
And then, of
Get
course,
some-
they crash land on an island and find out some stuff that it was the same island where they
Same place. I love it.
Lloyd, you also, I mean, I used to love this show too. Love American Style. Love American Style.
Yeah, I wrote an episode or two of that when I was still in college.
Wow.
So that was the first thing I ever wrote.
And the Munsters too?
Yeah, the Munsters Today. That was
a different version.
A revisit of the Munsters. Yeah. Yeah, you bring all these things up. I'm having a hard time remembering some of them. I remember all the Brady Bunch stuff because people keep asking me about it.
Lloyd, listen, couple people I've been trying. We've had so many nostalgic great guests on the show from some of the old shows, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, all those shows.
Right.
I've been trying to get Tina Louise on this show forever, and also Maureen McCormick. We follow each other on Twitter.
Yeah.
I can't, and Barry Williams.
Barry should do your show. I mean,
his assistant always tells me that he's too busy. I'm like, how busy can Barry be? What's he doing?
You know what? I'm friendly with him. I don't keep track of them on a daily basis. Tina, well, she's the only survivor now of Gilligan.
Yes.
And she's in New York. I don't know her that well because she didn't do the rescue movies, the reunion movies.
Right.
We had other actresses play that. As I understand, she's much more accessible in terms of talking about Gilligan. You should.
I'm trying. I'm going to stay on it because we'd love to have those folks on.
Is Tina Louise the only one alive from Gilligan's Island? Is that correct?
Yeah, she's the only one left.
Wow.
So she's the only one.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I guess people who play movie stars have a longer life or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what. There's got to be some reason for that.
Lloyd, why did Ginger have this formal gown on a 3-hour tour on a boat ride?
Yeah.
Where's the and why did the Howells bring cases of money with them? I don't understand. It was only a 3-hour tour.
Okay. we have put together a movie. Hopefully the movie will get done sometime, but you'll answer
all those questions. Okay,
those questions will be answered. And I'll tell you, for the Ginger character, she was doing a photo shoot, and then paparazzi showed up at this regular photo shoot. And she jumped onto this boat.
I got you.
To get away.
We get a little prequel.
The Howells, all the way they had the clothes and why they had the money and all that. It's it was all very philosophical.
They were embezzling it. Come on, Lloyd. They were taking the money away and putting it into an island.
Some people suggested that. No, but the philosophical reason for that was that rich people can have money. Rich people can have whatever they want.
Whatever they want. Pinch me, Luffy. I'm dreaming.
He had to be talked out of the Wall Street Journal being delivered every day. Somehow.
Drop it by helicopter.
They said that was too far to go.
Looking back at it all, what is there a single moment that you're just like, oh yes, that's when it all just came together? I'm most proud of this. Or is it the work that you're currently doing, obviously, that's keeping you still, in the business, still kind of recreating? What is it like? Because you had such a storied career. I mean, boy, oh boy.
I'm just fortunate. For me, whatever I get involved in, the idea tells me what it should be. And then my job is like, these are my children, these things that I create. And my job is to give them life. And if it's on a stage, if it's in a TV, if it's a TV show or if it's a movie, I have to keep going until these things happen. And I've been lucky to be able to do most of them. So,
and as a writer, do you make it your job to go upstairs into your library or whatever, wherever you write, to write every day? Some writers do that every day as a practice.
I do it when I'm not doing something else. And I've been lucky not lucky because I haven't always been doing a series or a movie or something. And so when that's going on, then I write to have something to be able to produce. So it's not as defined. I used to define it this way. There's a day is into 3 parts, the morning, afternoon, and evening, obviously. And one of those parts I would write. So if it was, in the morning and then the afternoon, I would do something to service the writing, meaning going to have a meeting to try and sell it, going to have lunch with somebody. And then the other part of the day would be with the family. And that's 7 days a week, basically. You know,
Yeah.
I taught at UCLA for a while, producing for television. And when I first started teaching, I said, let's talk about mathematics before we get into the coursework. Mathematics is a week has 7 days. Don't be somebody who doesn't like what they do for 5 days to get to 2 days they like, which is the weekend.
Right.
You know, enjoy what you do for the 5 days. First of all, the other way is 5 to do bad math. Okay, good math is liking what you do for 5 days to get to 2 days you also like. That's 7-0, good math. And you don't have to be involved in my business to be happy with that. But we're happy whatever you're doing. You guys seem to be really happy doing your show, and I'm thrilled for you. And I think that's you know, it's a blessing. But most people are not really happy with what they do.
Yeah, Lloyd, we started this at the start of the pandemic. We're 270 shows in. We turned
this
on
is the best one, right?
This is absolutely. This is my favorite. Absolutely.
Okay.
We've had celebrities and entertainers from all over the place, and it started out with Suki and I on a Zoom. One celebrity joined us, and next thing you know, we can't get out of the show, Lloyd. We can't stop. We're booked through February, and we have all these distribution partners now, and I'm still in my basement. She's still in her kitchen.
You're blessed and you're lucky.
Yeah,
I saw one of the things you have. Ted Lange was on with you.
Yeah, Ted was on. Yeah.
We're very good friends. In fact, he directed the first production we did of Classic Couple Counseling.
Oh, really?
We've done plays and movies, so we're very close. Yeah.
Here you go. Well, you know what? Let's talk about it because that's your new project. It's coming out. Right. It's I think April 1st in LA. Right. Classic Couples Counseling, and this is a live play version. What's the theater? It's at
Theater West.
Theater West, very old theater, right in the LA area.
Right.
And it's just tell us how you came up with this, and it sounds hysterical. Just from the couples that are going to be on the show.
Yeah, it's well, I will say this: it was probably the easiest thing to come up with because I was going to therapy, and I left my therapist and say, "Boy, I was really messed up today." And then I said, "Who was really messed up?" And then I said, "The Shakespearean characters were really messed up," and it led to the play. And there we go. And so there's these sessions. The therapist has a session with Romeo and Juliet, with Hamlet and Ophelia, and Lady Macbeth and Macbeth, and they all come in, and she helps to advise them. And then there's this group scene where Petruchio is hitting on Juliet, and Hamlet doesn't know what he's doing, and Lady Macbeth tells him to go to hell, and all this stuff is going on. And at the end of that, she gives them advice on how to proceed with their lives, and that advice is so bad.
Yeah,
that's why they all die. So that's this play, and it's so much fun. We're in rehearsal now, and the cast is terrific, and it's going to be a ball. It's going to be a ball.
That is amazing. Can you get it? Do you think maybe that'll one day be a Broadway type play? Get it over to New York?
You know, I've been lucky in my life where I've done lots of plays, and not very many I think have Broadway potential, but this one certainly does, and that's one of the reasons I'm really, talking and telling as many people as I can about it, because I think this belongs on Broadway. I can really see it there. And you don't have to know Shakespeare. You just have to kind of know who the characters are.
Who the characters are, right?
But if you know Shakespeare, there's little things in it that's going to delight you even more.
Oh, that's amazing. It's Classic Couples Counseling, written by Lloyd Schwartz. And it's just now you're saying that Ted actually directed one of these episodes?
There's only one play, and he directed the first production because Ted is he's very Shakespeare savvy. He's done a lot of Shakespeare.
Yes.
And so I wanted a director who knew more about Shakespeare than I did. And so he would put things in there, and then we'd discuss it, of course. And as I say, we're very close friends. He's a great guy. Great guy.
That's amazing. Lloyd.
Would you say you are a Shakespearean aficionado?
Yeah, okay. An aficionado, but not a
expert?
Couldn't teach the class of Shakespeare anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Have you seen Macbeth, the version?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I see most of them. I saw that. Yeah. My wife, as I say, plays Lady Macbeth. And so we sat down there, and she's watching this, and she's figuring out exactly how evil she can be watching Frances McDormand. Yeah.
It's amazing. Lloyd, last thing I want to say before you go, when the Brady Bunch movies came out, and they had the new characters were so perfectly cast, right? Especially who played Carol? What's her name from Cheers? Shelley Long. And the gentleman who played Mike. They were so perfectly cast that after watching the movies so many times with my kids, I almost, as a guy who watched the old Brady Bunch 8,000 times, those people started to take the shape of almost the original Brady Bunch to me.
Right. It was, casting was really
good. It was so good. And then, I mean, just everything that happened in the Brady Bunch series was in the movie pretty much. They threw in so many good things. And just the corniness of it all was it's just fantastic. But that is something that will never die. The Brady Bunch isn't going anywhere for generations to come.
No, we will. Yeah. It's a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Dad said to me, he said, why do you think it's so, so people just know it all and to keep watching it. And I said, I think you put something addictive into the film. Some chemical agent is in there that people could compel to watch it.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. Lloyd, listen, it's an absolute pleasure. The play is called Classic Couples Counseling. It starts in LA April 1st. Tickets are available. How many shows, Lloyd, are they going to have?
I think it's 5 or 6 weekends, something like that.
Okay.
And I'm hoping, it'll exist beyond that, go to other theaters. But if you're in LA, please come see it, and
absolutely.
Yeah, great.
Lloyd, thank you so much. Absolute honor to have you on, my friend. And
say hello to your wife and congratulations to her as well on that.
Everything. Yeah.
I will. And good luck on your show and keep going.
Thank you, bud. Lloyd. We appreciate it. Lloyd, you're the best. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care, bud.
Thank you. What a trip down memory lane, huh?
Wow, Sue. That's amazing. That's
wonderful
amazing.
Stories.
Takes you back to your childhood, right? Let me get us back to that page.
It's like you got a real feel for these people, and I don't even know how, but it's true. I didn't even realize it, that you were hearing the stories from the children's perspective, and it was never about Mr. and Mrs. Brady. They just kind of came in and solved something, but it was really about the kids.
When Marcia got hit in the nose with the football, oh my nose, and then Doug breaks up with her and doesn't want to take her to. It's just such, when you watch it now, it's like, wow, that would have been on text message. First of all, he wouldn't even have broken up with her in person. But it's just, it's so fun to watch that stuff. Like
it was simple. You know what I love about it? It was simple. It wasn't so dystopic. Now the girl will be doing crack or like heroin in the bathroom, and then mom and dad walk in and the boyfriend will be shooting her up, and then they're going to rehab. That's the story now.
Yeah. And Suk, listen, before we take a total left turn and talk about Men of West Hollywood, we got Landon and Hannah, two of the stars of the show, are coming up in just a second. You yesterday were talking about that shot I put up of me and my buddies at that Sweet 16 in high school. And here we are, Suk. We could be the Men of West Hollywood right here. That's from like 1984.
1984, Men of West Hollywood.
Men of West Hollywood. Or like I said, a Vampire Diaries type of movie. And apparently Beige and Brown. Is that guy
still your best buddy? These two are your still best buddies?
Those two guys are still buddies of mine.
Do you have pictures of what they look like now?
I don't have them with me, but the guy who's kind of bending over with the tie on, he was like 6'5". And played football in high school, and it was just, apparently beige was the color back for that Sweet 16.
Looks like it, beige and brown.
Beige and brown. Anyway, Suk, listen, we move along. This show, the Suki and Scott Show, of course, is featured on Crackle. There's another new series that's come to Crackle called The Men of West Hollywood, Suk. And after you see this trailer, you're going to want to hang out in West Hollywood, I guarantee you. Because I'm sitting in my basement every day. These people are out having a time of their life. So here it is. Here's a little trailer from Men of West Hollywood. We've got two of the stars from the show. Here you go. Take a look.
West Hollywood was just voted the hippest zip code in the United States in 90069. That's where it's at. Gay, straight, trans, bi. It doesn't really matter in West Hollywood.
You give 5 straight boys and 2 gay boys shots of tequila, and all of a sudden becomes a twerk off.
Trashy but sassy.
There's a lot of characters.
No one cares what you like as long as you're respectful of everyone else.
The West Hollywood lifestyle is absolutely insane.
You told me this was a fetish party.
We ended up in a relationship together after he and Steven became partner. It's called a throuple.
Dude, what? This dude is thirsty.
People call me Mr. West Hollywood. I know everybody in the city.
The more you get clingy, the more I back off. He felt hurt. You're gonna try to sit there like you're God's gift to West Hollywood.
Well, I am, bitch. How about that?
I was kind of hoping for like us to be like official.
I want to see other people.
I think Hannah is very, very hot. She needs a new man in her life.
This is not going to end well.
You're like the first guy I've ever loved.
I heard you were sleeping with Nick.
3 million subscribers.
Tonight is gonna be insane. You told me you weren't seeing anyone.
We are best friends. I know
You're gonna be my best friend.
You got better options. Thank you for being here.
We all have big personalities, and we're still here for each other.
Friends, it's a family.
West Hollywood.
Sook, I gotta get to West Hollywood, Sook. I gotta get there. I gotta get there. Hannah and Landon.
Hi, Landon.
How are you guys? What's going on? So wait a second. In that trailer, was that the two of you who were hooking up a little bit?
It was.
It was. Oh, wow. Look at me. I'm very astute, by the way. But listen, now, so wait a second.
Well, you know what? Why wouldn't Hannah hook up with somebody when a guy tells you that he doesn't want to be exclusive? I mean, like, give me a break. Why waste your time?
I mean, you got two good-looking people right here. So wait, so the show's already in the can, right? All the episodes are filmed. You guys obviously had a little chemistry on the show. Now post-show, I notice you're not in the same box together. You're kind of in two different boxes together. Has this relationship already come and gone? Tell us what happened. I need to know.
Landon, do you want to start?
Landon, you start, Landon. Go ahead.
Landon, you want to explain?
I'll explain everything.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, you know, we filmed the show in 2019, so 2 years
2019,
ago.
Okay,
And,
okay.
Yeah, so 2019, I think we finished actually filming October, so thank God it was right before the coronavirus happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So during that show, there's a lot of different things going on, a lot of different relationships, and you know, we had our on-camera chemistry, and then once we were done filming, we, you know, kind of went down our own paths, our own life, and obviously the pandemic happened, so that changed everything, and you know, so it was definitely it was definitely a very, very fun time filming the show.
Okay. And
So Hannah's being very quiet during.
Yeah,
this
Hannah's
time.
got this
Watch
look.
your body language.
Hannah's got this look. I've seen that look on my daughter's face many times, and Hannah's like, you know what? You're full of shit, people.
I'll spill the tea.
Yeah. Hannah, tell me what happened. Go ahead.
Okay. So yes, we did film, and Landon and I, on and off the show, became really close.
Okay.
And shared a lot about our personal life, and we just became really good friends. And even, you know, still to this day, it's been 2 years since we filmed the show. You know, I called him before and I'm like, are you nervous? Like, what should I say? And he's like, Hannah, you're fine. Just breathe. Like, we're talking about life. And I'm like, okay, you're right. So we're really close. I love him. And, you know, he has such a big heart. So yeah, we're just really good friends. So
Landon's just a good guy.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to know, how do you become the men of West Hollywood and the women who are with them? Like, how did that happen? Were you guys already a team, a posse? Somebody came up to you guys and said, oh, this is really interesting. Or did they put you together?
You know what? I knew most of the castmates, most of the other men of West Hollywood before, you know, I even knew this project was happening. You know, I've seen them around. I've seen them at parties, and then one day my agent, you know, just told me that I was handpicked out of my agency to audition for the show.
Wow!
So I was just like, you know, yeah, of course I'm gonna do that. So I went in there, and I loved the team, and I loved the people. From the production, Get Me Out Productions, very, very genuine, just nice people. And I think we really connected. And so from there, the rest was history.
Yeah.
Was it, you know, when you got, obviously it's a reality show. So when the cameras are on, is it the same when the cameras are off? Like when you guys when your chemistry hit, was it first on camera, or did you guys kind of connect before the show started? Because to me, there's got to be a difference. If there's a camera on you at all times, you're not acting the same exact way you would if that camera wasn't on you. So did you guys connect in a natural way, or it was kind of like, all right, we're on this show, maybe we hook it up and become a couple? Anybody?
Yeah, I think that as Hannah said earlier, we were already getting pretty close as we were starting to do scenes together and everything. And then obviously at that the kiss scene, you know, it was just there was chemistry there, and I mean, it's good to say also that when you are filming something, there's like this different like energy that it kind of you know, brings everything up and
Sure.
kind of makes the drama happen in a very, very smooth way, I guess, or not smooth sometimes. But so there's already that chemistry there, and when the time was the time, it all happened.
What's interesting about Men of West Hollywood is that there's gay, there's straight, some people are fluid. I think it's very interesting. Yeah. We haven't seen that before. I think you guys might be breaking new ground.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking
that's
about.
Something like, you know, everybody's been sort of in a silo, like this is the Real Housewives or whatever. I mean, everybody's mostly been either straight or gay. It hasn't been just sort of everybody together living as friends and loving as friends, as a community. And I think that's incredible. And that's what the message really should be about this show.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it shows in the show as well. You know, people, when you think of West Hollywood, you think of these big stars and the partying, which that definitely happens, but they are so including and loving, no matter if you're straight, you're gay, you're bi, whatever you are. They love you and they bring you in as a family. And I know Nick said it in another interview, but like everyone showed up to work to film, and it was just, let's give it our all, you know, and it is a show, but it's all real. It's all true, you know, and
it's your life, right?
Yeah, it is your life. And it was so fun being able to work with people who had a passion for that as well, to get our stories out there and to love on everyone and, you know, just include everyone. So
yeah. And the name of the show is Men of West Hollywood. Of course, it's on Crackle. It started back on January 20th, so it's really just kicked off. Out of the guys up on that screen right there, because I don't know all the names of the fellas there. Who's the funniest? Who's the craziest, Landon? Who do you, in your opinion, first? Who's the funniest guy up there? Tell me.
Me, for sure.
All right, that's an honest answer.
So why don't you introduce everybody in that picture?
Who's
next to you, and then go down the line, because we don't know all the characters.
Yeah. So to go from me left to the right, that's obviously me, Landon WETTERSTROM. After that, we have Justin Jedlicka. He's known as the Human Ken doll. In the middle, with his arms like this, that's Brendan Taylor. He's a big YouTube star.
Okay.
Right next to him, we got Murray Swanby, a big club promoter, just like one of the nicest, most confident people I know. Next to him, we got Darren Teest, incredible photographer. He's shot in Kim Kardashian, Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, everybody. And then lastly, we have David Barta, where he's just this really, really, you know, muscular personal trainer. You know, the classic guy that you would see training at Venice Beach. So. Yeah, just a great group of guys for sure.
Listen, here's another clip from the show, Men of West Hollywood. Take a look, and then we'll talk more.
I've never had something like this before. Like every party I've had is be like invite like a couple people from church, but like this is really special.
I wanted you to feel special because you are.
Oh man.
I just want you to be happy. You deserve it. Things are going good. Who do I see? Darren. Who do I see next to him? The cougar.
It's Kathy. Doesn't she look familiar?
This is so messed up that Darren interrupted my conversation with Hannah with Kathy.
I brought her.
Oh,
How did you guys?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're a little bit more than friends.
You chill or you chill?
Who? You two?
What are you saying?
Which chill?
They're just, I mean, we're more than friends. What are you talking about? What do you think I gave you the Ferrari? Okay, great. I don't remember that. Thought the whole thing was done after the video.
Hannah, is that you again getting in the middle of everything?
I guess. Don't get mad at me.
So wait a second. So is Landon the only guy that you had a relationship with during the filming of this program?
I guess you're gonna have to
There's
watch.
a cougar in a video, and I don't know.
Yes. I had a little love triangle going on, I guess.
Really? Wow. So
Yes.
you were real. Wow, you were real. You're really in this. This man of West Hollywood is really Hannah of West Hollywood. No.
Let me tell you, filming with all the guys, it's a character builder for sure.
I could imagine. Well, listen, you're a very beautiful girl. You're a model, Portuguese and Italian.
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Yes, seems to make for a nice combination. And you've got your own career modeling as well, right?
I do, yes. Started when I was 17 years old, and then now I'm 23. So worked with multiple brands, Vera Wang, Gucci, Chanel, Italian leather handbags. So it's been great. So I love it. It's my passion.
Italian leather handbag, Souk. It's right up your alley.
Who doesn't love that?
We'll talk after.
Yeah.
Hannah, are you a California girl, or did you come out into the Hollywood scene, or did you grow up in it, you and Landon, out of curiosity?
Yeah, I was born and raised in California in OC. And then when I got into modeling, you get into that whole Hollywood lifestyle. And so that's how I started. And let me tell you, the glam life is where it's at. I've always been a glam girl, love the beach, but I'm like, baby, Hollywood sign, that's me.
I love it. Souk, how do you and I get the Suki and Scott show of West
we're
Hollywood?
like New Yorkers. It's so different. LA is such a different animal from New York. It's like crazy.
I know.
Landon, how about you? Where did you grow up? Like, where is your essence? Are you also from the West Coast?
Yeah. I grew up in a very small town called Meadow Vista. It's a town of about 2,000 people in Northern California, just north of Sacramento. And I lived in the country, in the middle of nowhere. And ever since I was little, I just wanted to become a movie star or whatever that is. And so I kept at it. And
so modeling and acting is also your focus too?
Yeah. I think on the show, I model here and there.
You're a real estate guy, right? You're real estate.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Yes,
Yeah.
I started a luxury vacation rental company. So we rent out properties to high-end clients and celebrities in LA that want to have, like, obviously a luxury place, but also secluded. We can provide security if they need it, cars and things like that. So I've been doing that for the last 3 years.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. No, it's I've met some really cool people that have guided me, but a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice. It in the show it looks all luxurious and like
it's a 24/7
no
life
big deal, but it's a lot of work.
Now, are either one of you in a relationship now, post-show, like with people not from the show? Anybody? Hannah?
I actually got married.
Oh, you got married.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we filmed the show in 2019, and then the pandemic happened, and I met this amazing guy. He's from Uruguay, was a professional soccer player, and he came to Santa Barbara. I was working in Laguna, doing like a nonprofit for the beach, and he was flipping surfer vans at the time, and our companies like mashed us together, and then he was like, "Hey baby," and I was like, "Ooh, okay." So
what? I gave you a hey baby?
chance, and we got married about 8 months after.
Wow. So, well, then my follow-up question, you shot to hell, because I was going to say any shot of you two getting back together, but that's obviously not happening anymore. Landon, how about you, bud? Any new women in the mix for you?
You know what, man? I'm single right now. I was, during the pandemic, I was in a 2-year relationship, or almost 2 years. It started like December of 2019, and we broke up about a month ago before the show came out. So thank you. It was probably the easiest and most lovely breakup I've ever gone through. So,
Hey, that's how it
Easy
should
and
be.
lovely.
Yes,
The
sir.
Men of West Hollywood on Crackle. Guys, just give me a little, give me a little tease. There are a lot of fireworks on this show. It seems
Oh,
like
yeah.
Sexy.
it seems like there's a lot of sexiness going on, and a lot of, maybe Hannah is, maybe one too many relationships on the show. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna have to watch it. But it comes to a conclusion at the end of the series?
Without spilling too much, I would say there's definitely a cliffhanger.
I was going to say the same thing.
So that means that
That's
there's going to be a
Wow.
season 2,
Yeah,
season 3,
guys.
season 4, hopefully.
Well, we can't say too much, but once you get, started watching, even from like taking myself out of the show, watching it, I'm like, I was texting Landon. I'm like, the show's actually like really good. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so cute together. Like, come on. So,
I just love it because it's so diverse. I mean, not only just, it just feels fresh. It feels new. It feels like something that's really current with the world that we live in, and I applaud you guys for having the ability to put it out there,
Yeah. Listen, guys, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Hannah, before you go, did your husband watch the show with you? Did he ever see it?
he has not watched it yet. He watched the trailer in like episode 1, and he was like, "Good for you, girl." He's like, kill it. So
he's like, I don't care.
Hannah,
You're on
That was
TV.
before you, baby.
Yeah,
That was
I didn't
just
know
before
you.
Yes, I'm like, don't worry about it. So
We're at the beginning of
he's
everything.
so supportive,
That
and
was past.
and he's
so
like, "You
funny.
go, girl. You're killing it. You look hot, baby."
And Landon, listen, dude, with this resume right here, I don't see you having any problems hooking up, so you should be just fine, all right? I mean, if you give me some tips on the ab work, I'd be grateful. But
I will.
Listen,
I will.
Landon and Hannah, guys, thank you so much. Men of West Hollywood, it's on Crackle right now.
Congratulations.
Right after you're done watching all the Suki and Scott episodes, you can watch the Men of West Hollywood episodes. Guys, thank you so much. Continued success, and best of luck with everything. Really, just enjoy it, man. You guys are young, you're having fun, and just
have
enjoy.
fun. Life's
That's
too
it.
serious.
Yeah, just
Thank you.
enjoy it.
I
Thank
love
you,
it.
guys.
Thank you
Take
guys
care.
I heard it from
much.
2 old folks on this end.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
So cute.
Oh boy, wow, that show looks steamy, Sue. It looks
very
steamy.
sexy, Scotty. Very
Yes.
sexy. I think our audience will love it.
Speaking of steamy and sexy,
Hey, I will tell you, it is. Speaking of steamy, it's like 79 degrees in here.
Oh, in
because
your
it's,
room?
Yeah, because it's like 15 outside, so I cranked the heater up. I'm about to get a little too hot now, I think.
Oh boy, too hot to handle in OKC.
Oh yeah.
Sook, great show today, babe. Great show.
It's going by so fast, but that show looks really sexy, Phil. I'm just saying, we might
Yeah.
have to put on Crackle Plus and
You got to go check it out on Crackle
steam
Plus.
it up.
Men of West Hollywood, baby.
Exactly. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Sook, I'll see you
tomorrow.
later. See you later, babe.
See you, Suki.
Bye.
Philly Kid.
Hey.
What's happening, brother? Hold on. Let me get us back to square one. Did you see Lloyd Schwartz at all, Phil?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, what a friggin' he's like, you know what? These guys, and they're like, he just had this demeanor, like, he just lived through it all, a classic period of life. And he just, Brady Bunch, Gilligan's Island, and he just, growing up as you're the son of Sherwood Schwartz. And it's just kind of like, you seem like just a normal laid back guy living, he still lives in the Hollywood Studio City, right?
Yeah,
He said he's just right around the corner from the studios where they film those shows, and it's just, he's just rolling with it, man. He's he's at that age where he's just kind of like, yeah, I did all that already.
Yeah.
But it's just, the fact that those shows are all still on the air is what keeps it all relevant.
Yeah. So, and probably those shows will be playing someplace in the world
long after
on.
we're gone. Absolutely, man. I'm telling you, my daughter, who's now 20, when she was a kid, I had to go out and she wanted me to get all of there's like a 6-pack CDs of the Brady Bunch,
right,
of the episodes. And we used to just let them one after the next, man. It was, and then the movies, the Brady Bunch movies, and she loved it. So it's like, it just because it's a different time period, the kids, they love it. I love watching it still because it's just so corny now. But it's just great, man. All those shows are fantastic. They're so good.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
hey,
one of my favorite episodes was when Greg Brady, his dad grounded him from the car. He said, "You're not going to be able to drive our car for a week or whatever." Well, he wound up driving a friend's car, right. and then they had the semantics argument out. He said, "I told you couldn't drive for a week." He said, "Yeah, our car. I couldn't drive our car."
Our car, right? That's so funny. I used to. Oh my God, Phil. So here's Davy Jones took who to the high school dance? Who'd he take to a high school dance?
Davy Jones.
Yeah, Davy Jones from the Monkees appeared on an episode because one of the kids was the president of the Davy Jones fan club.
Oh, Jan. He took Jan.
That answer would be Marcia, my friend. Marcia.
Oh, man.
All right, here's another one for you. During the final season of the Brady Bunch, where did Greg live? Final season, where did Greg Brady live?
Greg lived in Hawaii.
Nope. It was in the house, but where did he live?
Oh, he lived, didn't they have a converted garage out in the back?
He lived up in the attic.
Oh, up in the attic.
The attic was the answer we're looking for, so you're 0 for 2. Here's another one, Philly kid. What sport did Alice's boyfriend Sam love to play? What sport did he was always taking Alice to go where?
Wasn't it hockey?
Oh, sorry, Phil.
Man, it's been a while since I've seen the show.
Hold on, we have a new feature on here. Let me put some music under this. There we go. Look, now we got some music. The answer, my friend, is bowling. Bowling is the correct answer.
Shoot.
All right. So here's another one. Who uttered the famous phrase, Marcia, Marcia, Marcia?
Marcia. That would be Jan.
Nicely done, my friend.
Okay, yeah.
How about this? The Bradys go to Hawaii. Who played the spooky guy in the cave? I mentioned it during the interview. Who played the spooky guy in the cave?
Yeah, you got me on that one.
Vincent Price. Remember Vincent Price?
Yes.
And then, actually, this is kind of a fact. You know what actor was initially going to play Mike Brady? You know which one they were initially wanted to have play Mike Brady?
Charles Bronson.
You're close. Gene Hackman.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Gene Hackman.
Wow.
So I can ask you trivia questions all day long, but
yeah, I can get them wrong all day long, man.
But listen, man, you want to do a little. Listen, last night we were all about the music. Today we had no music, so we've been waiting for you to come on to sing to get us in the the little tunage action.
Yeah, I'll sing a couple. See what we can do here. How about a little?
No show tomorrow. Tomorrow's show postponed. A couple of things came up, but we'll play some re-airs and stuff. But no show tomorrow. Please make a note of it.
Okay. Well, let's start off with a little Bublé action.
Michael Bublé?
Michael Bublé. Is there another Bublé that I don't know about?
I thought his name was Boo Blay. Mr. Blay.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. A fever in the morning, oh, a fever all through the night. Sun lights up the daytime, moon lights up the night, and I light up when you call my name. And you know I'm gonna treat you right. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. A fever, oh, in the morning, oh, a fever all through the night. Everybody's got the fever. That is something you all know, yeah. Fever isn't such a new thing. Fever started long ago, yeah. Romeo loved Juliet. Juliet, she felt the same. When he put his arms around her, he said, Julie, baby, you're my flame. Thou givest fever when we kisseth, fever with thy flaming youth. A fever, oh, I'm on fire. Oh, what a lovely way to burn. Yeah.
Nicely done, Philly kid. Nicely done.
Thank you, sir.
Who originally? What that was from a commercial, wasn't it?
That was originally done, I think, by, it was a female singer. What was her name?
Yeah. Fever all through the morning.
But yeah, several people have done it. Bublé's my favorite version.
Hey, did you start watching? Ozark yet?
Oh yes.
Is season 4? Don't tell me anything. I haven't started it yet, but I hear it's pretty good.
It's excellent. It's excellent.
Really?
You know, at the end, I heard that there was going to be at the end of the third season 3. I heard that there was going to be another season. I'm like, where can they go from here?
And they always do, right?
And they always do. Yeah.
You watched the whole thing already?
No. I'm probably three or 4 episodes in.
Oh, okay.
But you know, and Jason Bateman and I forget his wife's name.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, at any rate, these guys get into situations where if they can just get out of this situation, then the family will be safe.
Right. And then they get into another one.
And they get into another one. Like, man,
good.
these people, they're never going to be out of harm's way. But
That's
yeah, it's really good. And there's another one I've been watching. It stars Michael Chiklis, and it's called Coyote.
On Netflix?
Yeah, no, it's on Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay.
And he plays a border patrol agent who retires and gets mixed up with the cartels, and because he trying to save a young girl's life, and man, just the things that he's getting into. It is an awesome movie. And, I got to say, Michael Chiklis is one of the better looking leading men in Hollywood
because he looks like you.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything. But yeah, that's a good one to binge watch too.
Yeah, okay, Coyote on Paramount Plus. Donna says Fever was done by Peggy Lee.
Peggy Lee, yes.
Yeah, Peggy Lee. I remember there was a commercial, right? You gave him a fever, maybe for like a Revlon or something, lipstick or something like that.
I'm sure it is.
I want to hit another one.
Yeah, this is one of our old favorites, one of our old standards.
What do we got?
So I sing you to sleep after the lovin' with a song that I wrote yesterday. And I hope you can hear what the words and the music have to say. It's so hard to explain everything that I'm feeling face to face. I just seem to go dry. But I love you so much that the sound of your voice can get me high. Thanks for taking me on a one-way trip to the sun. And thanks for turning me into someone. So I sing you to sleep after the loving. I brush back the hair from your eyes, and the love on your face is so real that it makes me want to cry. And I know that my song isn't saying anything new. Oh, but after the loving, I'm still in love with you.
So I sing that. Did we ever duet that, Philly Kid? Did we duet after the lovin'?
I don't think so, but that sounds like a good one to try.
That's not a bad one. I think I could get in there with you on that one.
Okay.
Oh, but oh, everything you've been saying, anything new. But you got any auditions late? I see you put up these posts of I think you do. You look like an insane person. You look like a serial killer, for God's sakes, but I guess that's good acting on your part.
Yeah, I'm getting some pretty good video auditions, sending them out around the country, and if we can just get one to hit,
that's all you need, man. You just need one to hit.
Yeah.
Right,
so,
just one.
Yeah, so I'm still working hard at that.
I love it, man. I love it. You can never stop sending the auditions out.
Nah,
never stop.
I mean there's always...
I'm unhireable, but there's still hope for you. There's still there's still hope for you, my man.
Yeah. Well, I that's one of the reasons I saw Michael Chiklis, and I'm like, yes, there is still hope. There is still hope.
Chiklis is in there. There's hope.
Because we look a lot alike, and we're the same age, and so hey, man, see what happens.
So funny, Philly. I used to think I had a career and a future when I look like this guy right here.
Which one is you?
You don't know which one I am in that shot?
Let me get my glasses on. Okay, so you're the guy in the brown shirt.
Yeah, the brown shirt. Apparently beige and brown were big that day in 1982.
So was hair.
Yeah, hair was pretty good too. To be young and have a full head of hair.
Hey, but you know what? Never give up hope. We're never going to give up hope because we on the Suki and Scott show, we subject ourselves to viewers from around the world, and you never know who's going to be watching.
You never know. And, somebody might want to say, "Hey, I have $1 million. I want to make you guys stars. Let's take this show to the big time."
Yeah.
Somebody, please, somebody say it, please. Philly Kid, you want to do a little one more? You got another one in the arsenal?
Let me see what I got here. Let's do a little of yeah, this is no standard. I get a lot of requests for this one. You are so beautiful to me. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? Ooh, you're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me. Yes.
Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. Philly Kid, I tell you, I'm heading to Barcelona next month.
You're going to Barcelona.
Barcelona.
So what are you going to Barcelona for? I forgot.
My daughter's there for school.
Yeah.
We're going to go visit for a week, have some fun, you know, eat some food, eat some more food. Coming up on the show Wednesday, the February 9th, Bill Champlin is Champlin from Chicago. Bill was one of the lead vocalists in the rock group Chicago. He's coming on the show.
Uh-oh, we're gonna have to knock out a little tune for him.
Yeah, baby. What's your favorite Chicago song if you had to pick one? What would be your favorite?
It's the one that we've all heard at football games forever and ever, and ever. Da 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 That's required learning if you're in the band in any junior or high school in the United States.
Yeah. Is that's not 25 or 624, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. That's so funny. I love it. Well, listen, Philly Kid, we'll leave off today with our usual ending to our program. Your video is out there. Freedom Call. How's it doing, by the way? Are people downloading it? Are our viewers downloading the song?
It's doing very well. It's doing very well. And my
phone call from Mr. Paz. Phone call from Mr. Paz.
Wow. That's loud.
Now, do you have any plans on writing another original song? You have two. You have two now, right? Two original videos.
Hey, you know me. I've always got something going on in the wheelhouse. So yeah, me and my son, we have some things in the works.
Beautiful. All right, Philly Kid. Listen, we'll do a couple duets along the way until next week rolls around. And everybody, thank you so much for watching. The show will be on again later tonight. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell the people at school. And we love you guys. And here's Philly Kid, little Freedom Called. Philly, I'll talk to you later on, my friend.
All righty. Thank you, soldier, for your noble sacrifice. Never forgotten how you paid the price. Our freedom is a strong one, paid with sweat and blood, tears and dirt. On the field it turns to mud.
called, and the chosen ones were ready. Freedom called, freedom called, and the chosen ones came running. Thank you, mothers, for sending us your best. We hear your cries and feel the heartbeat in your chest. Freedom called, freedom called, and the chosen ones were ready. Freedom called, yeah, freedom called, and the chosen ones came running. Thank you, soldier, for your noble sacrifice.